and welcome back to the Corner of Craft podcast. The Corner of Craft podcast is a knitting and crochet podcast in which I talk to you all about the things that I've been knitting on and crocheting for the past fortnight. It's a fortnightly podcast. I do my best to actually post. I bet you're all surprised that I actually did the fortnight. First off, hi. I'd like to apologise in advance if I have to edit quite a lot in this podcast. If you've not watched my podcast before, you will not know this, but I live in a terraced house, and next door sold in October last year, and someone has bought it, and they have essentially completely ripped it out and have been doing building works since December. If you can't tell, it's really annoying. So yeah, I think they're doing work on the room right beside where I podcast, so I might have to stop if they do lots of banging and stuff. But maybe we will get through the hour without loads of building works. We can't make promises. Like I've said, my name is Hannah. I'm coming at you today from a very cloudy, not very nice, it's rained this morning, Nottingham, here in the UK, in the middle of England, land of Robin Hood and all that jazz. I am the business owner behind the Corner of Craft. I make tiny hand beaded stitch markers, which are super cute and a delight to make. And I also dye yarn in colours inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, because why not? Under the name Chromatic Yarns. And I have a ton of bare yarn that I need to put away because it's just in boxes around my house. But I can't be bothered. Maybe I'll do it after the podcast. Maybe. Not making promises. Sorry, I just put my phone on the floor. If you'd like to follow me on social media, please feel free. Let's do it this side. Links can all be found in the description box below, as well as links to the show notes. Because of everything that's been happening with Ravelry over the past fortnight, I've decided that from now on I'm going to move my show notes off of Ravelry. I'm going to have them on my website, and I mean, I have it there, why not use it? And I'm going to, the best I can, not link back to any Ravelry. If I do link to Ravelry, I will say before I link it, as a warning, ooh, my voice, as a warning to people who are unable to use the new layout on Ravelry. I think it's absolutely disgusting, the behaviour that has happened. While I love Ravelry, I have loved Ravelry for over a decade now. I'm just very disappointed that they haven't said anything, and as soon as the first issue came in, they didn't just switch it back to classic mode with an opt-in to the new mode. But maybe that's just me being naive with my zero knowledge of web design. I don't know how these things work, but to me it shouldn't be difficult if you've done it before to just switch it back to the way that it was until you've got the issues fixed. No? I don't know. But yes, I hope anyone that has been struggling with Ravelry and have been struggling with sickness and migraines and such since then, I hope that you all feel better soon. I didn't even know, in my ignorance, I didn't even know that that was a thing that could happen. And when I first saw people complaining about Ravelry, I just thought it was people complaining because people don't like change. And then I saw reports of migraines and sickness and seizures and all of that, and I very quickly changed my mind. But yeah, I will not be linking to Ravelry in my show notes. I'll do my best to link to people's what is my hair doing? I'm very warm. I've gone very warm all of a sudden. I'll do my best to link to people's Instagram and the like instead. and then yeah, you can see where people are selling their patterns from them, because it's a bit all over the place at the moment. I suppose this is the problem when you give like one website, it's a lot of power. Maybe power is the wrong word. Anyway, the top I'm wearing is the TPCT, the perfect crop top. I can't remember who it's by. I'll put it on the screen. But I've been wearing it a lot recently and I'm really liking it. Like, you can clearly see where I swapped skeins, but that's fine. I think I want to make another one, but with longer sleeves, because I did these very short sleeves, so my arm is just kind of like hanging out and having a good time. But maybe with like elbow length sleeves. Yeah. It only used less than 2 skeins, so why not? The tea I'm drinking today, oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't tell you. I was going to make an iced tea, and then I was going to try and make like a green tea or something, but then I looked out the window and thought, you know what, it may be July, but the weather is really gross. So I made myself, I can't drink it, it's too hot, I've only just made it, a cup of chocolate digestives by Bird and Blend, which is my go-to. I'm running low, so I ordered some more, should hopefully be coming in a couple of days. I also ordered some more monkey chops because I don't actually have any of that at the moment. That's one of my faves. For those that don't know, I am a partner with Bird and Blend. I did love them before, but they have given me a discount code of HannahTBird20, which gives you 20% off all tea and matcha, and the first time it is used, it is an affiliate code, so I get a little bit kicked back my way, which is very much appreciated. I send out a little tea bag in with each of my parcels. I do buy those tea bags, they don't send me those. They used to, and then you lot all started to buy too many orders from me, so then I had to stop buying them, which is fine. But the point I was getting at is that you seem to like them, so if you want to give it a whirl, HannahTBird20 is the code for you. My hair is such a mess. I feel like a lot of people in the UK are the same. Salons are opening up soon, but my hairdresser has decided to not be a hairdresser anymore, which is amazing. I'm so excited for her next venture, but I'm super sad as well because I need to find a new hairdresser. But I've had red hair, I mean this isn't red anymore, I've had red hair since March, so I need to change it. I don't know what colour, so I'm just leaving it to do its thing, and I'll just continue to put conditioner on the ends of my dry hair and try and fix it up a bit before I find someone else to trust. Big responsibility. We are 10 minutes into the podcast and I haven't actually talked that much about knitting. I went off topic. Ravelry is kind of knitting related. But yeah, I have no finished objects for you this week. I have some stash enhancements. I thought I only had 1 and then I realised I have 3. But one project I haven't touched at all, 1 I've barely touched. I have a new cast on, and 2 I put a bit of work in on. So let's start with socks. First up, I feel bad for not having any finished objects. I have these fun socks, which are kind of perfect for this weather. This colourway is Winter Rainbow. It is by the Yarn Badger, the lovely Liz. And it's on her yak base, which is really cool. I literally put in like 2 stripes. That is it, in 2 weeks. I've not really been in a sock knitting mood, although my next whip disproves that. I don't know, I've just not fancied it. It's because sock knitting is usually my social knitting, so I do it while I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons because it doesn't take up much room, or when I go to the pub I sock knit, or whenever I'm on a bus or a tram or we drive a long distance somewhere, I get a lot done on a sock. But because of lockdown I've not gone anywhere, therefore I haven't knit a whole lot on my sock. But we are having a socially distanced meeting with some friends this weekend, so I think I might bring either this sock or the other sock with me and get a bit of work done on it, because yeah, I'm going to do an afterthought heel. I am tempted to pick it up and knit it before I get to the end of the sock, so I can make sure the foot fits properly, blah blah blah, because I've never successfully done an afterthought heel. Are you done? Because I've never actually successfully done an afterthought heel. It never fits quite right. But I like how they look on self-striping socks, if that makes sense. So yeah, I usually do Kirby Werby's afterthought heel. I'm using 2.25mm needles. I did, I think, 18 rounds of 2x2 rib at the top, 64 stitches. I'm just knitting round and round and round on magic loop with my high sharps. High sharps on my knitting needles du choix. And yeah, not sorry about it. This is living in my Down Sheepy Lane project bag. It is a tea themed project bag because of course it is. And it's housing my Caduceus clay pin. Caduceus is a character from Critical Role, which is starting back up today. Oh my god, I'm so excited. He is a cleric and drinks tea, and yeah, so this pin is by Secret Cat shop, and yes, I love this project bag. It's such a good size for socks. Debbie do a great job. Well, while we're talking about socks, I may as well show you my new cast on. So, living in the what's who, Bertie and Poppet. I just, all I could think is Jill, because that's her name. Bertie and Poppet dragon bag that I bought from Knit Nottingham on their local yarn shop day, I think, last year. I ran down with Mum, bought a bag and ran back up to the bakery. Yeah, it's got flames inside and dragons outside, and as I messaged to Nikki of Tea and Possibilities this morning on Instagram, and I was like, I'm a simple girl, I see a vaguely D&D themed project bag and I have to buy it. It's not a lie. So, for the Wool Monty update, I updated with a ton of new colours. There are still a few in the shop actually. But one of my new colourways was called Ellen, which is with one L. It's short for Ellen Dill, which is Friend of the Elves. And that is my D&D character. That's the character that I play in Dungeons and Dragons. She is a druid. She is a furbog. I kind of... Did I talk about her? I feel like I did. So much noise happening next door, it's so distracting. Anyway, so she's kind of got like bluish fur, and she's like 7 foot tall, but she's definite gentle giant, that kind of thing. So I grabbed one of the skeins that didn't sell on the sparkle sock and cast on a sock. So this is my Ellen colour. It looks mint green, it's not mint green, it's just like a pale greyish blue. And then it's got greens and browns, speckles. And I cast on a sock yesterday while Mario was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for the second time, because we finished The Last of Us 2 on Sunday morning. It's quite a traumatic ending, that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, he started to play Red Dead Redemption 2 because he never actually finished it. So I quite enjoy watching Mario play video games, especially if there's a vague story related to them, so I cast on a sock for it, because why knit the sock you already have when you can cast on a new one, which is way more exciting. So also knitting these on 2.25mm high sharps. It's dangerous now that I have 2 pairs of sock needles. Oh, I'm so sorry about the noise. Oh my god. I did 15 rounds of 2x2 rib, which is going against what the pattern states. And oh yeah, the pattern. These are the STERNTALER socks. It is a pattern by Becky Sorensen, who is Soprano Knits and one of my BFFs. And this is actually a free pattern, I believe, I will double check with her, that you get when you sign up to her newsletter, which is super cool. So it's just a really nice, simple sock pattern, and it's kind of exactly what I wanted. because I wanted the yarn to do the work, and it is. I mean, Christ. I mean, the speckles are starting to pool slightly, which I don't actually have that much of an issue with, but they didn't at the beginning, so I'm not quite sure why it's happening all of a sudden. But that's fine, maybe it'll sort itself out, but it's just starting to a little bit as I go round. It's a party, it's a sock, but I do really like this colourway. I wasn't sure when I first dyed it up and it was drying. I was like, is this Ellen? And then I skeined it up and I was like, yeah, this is actually her in a skein of yarn. It's perfect. But yeah, it's got like dark greens and mossy greens for like the druidy aspect. It's got dark brown because she's got this like armour and also druidy aspect. It's got like a gingery kind of colour because she's got auburn hair, and yellow for fun, and also she's got a very sunshiny personality. But yeah, I'm really enjoying these so far. So this is my sparkle sock base, which is, oh, I've got to remember now, 75% superwash merino, 10% nylon, 5% lurex, I believe. This is, I can't believe I've just forgotten my own base. My mind has just gone blank. It happens sometimes. But it's a really lovely sparkle to it. I don't know if you can see. And the stitch marker I have on is one of my Corner of Craft stitch markers. It was a second because one of the beads broke as I was sewing it back together, or sewing back through it, so I got to keep it because they stay together even when the beads break. I just don't want to sell them, obviously. But yes, I thought the blue dragon, ooh, was very fitting for my Dungeons and Dragons character in my dragon bag. I just felt it was all like coming together. Da, 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 da. But yeah, in the pattern it called for 1x1 twisted rib for more rows than I've done, but I rebelled. Sorry, Becky, I love you. I rebelled. I did 2x2 because that's just what I do. But yeah, I'm really liking it, the texture of it, and yeah, I can't believe I've not knit these before. I've had the pattern sat for ages, but clearly I just hadn't found the perfect yarn. I have since found the perfect yarn. But yeah, sign up to Becky's newsletter and then you can get the STERNTALER socks, as well as find out all sorts of information when she sends you newsletters about pattern releases and test knitter news and whatnot. I should move my progress keeper up so I know for next time where I am. I need a sip of tea. I haven't actually had anything to drink yet today. It's 11 o'clock, that's actually awful. I got up this morning, well, Mario left at 6, before 6, around 6. I woke up at 5:45 this morning and I kind of laid awake and tried to go back to sleep but couldn't. And then I got up to go downstairs after Mario left and it was cold, so I thought no. So I grabbed my knitting and went back to bed for a bit. I didn't go back to sleep, I just sat in bed and knitted. Then I spent way too long putting my makeup on this morning because I never do my makeup anymore, so I make extra effort for you lot. Hope you appreciate it. Oh, my moustache is rife. And yeah, then next door was building works. And I had to move the massive thing of mini skeins out of this room. I need to re-tidy this room. It's annoying. Anyway, my next project, let's stick with the knitting theme, is living in my little grey girl donut bag. I love this bag. Jem makes such amazing bags. I believe this is the medium size. Could be wrong, but it's a great drawstring bag anyway. And that's got my Jester pin on with donuts. Also a character from Critical Role. The Mighty 9 and my tape measure, so I always know where it is. This is my Telegram cardie, which doesn't look like I've done an awful lot on, but have done. I feel like I have done. I could have done more. So this is another pattern by Becky of Soprano Knits, and she never asks me to knit her things and talk about her things, but I love her and I love her patterns, so why wouldn't I? You all know that we have a bromance going on. I do not have a bromance going on with this though, this noise. This is when I edit it back, you're not even going to hear anything. Anyway, so the telegram cardigan, it's all beautiful in like broken rib. And then I have split for the sleeves, as you can see. I had to fluff a few of the numbers because I knit a lot of this while watching all the Marvel films while Mario was off work. So obviously I was so enthralled in the drama that I must have accidentally missed a couple of increases. So I fluffed some of the numbers. I picked up some stitches where there were no stitches. Hopefully it won't be a huge problem. It hasn't been so far. The first row I was able to like make the stitch pattern work, which is all that matters. Because under the arm, I'm not very far through, but under the arm you get this fun little cable. Yes, and it goes all down the side and then it goes all on the underside of the sleeve as well, and it's really pretty. And I just think this is going to be such a staple cardigan for me to wear. So this is once again chromatic yarns. It's technically in the Moonbeam colour, but with a few more layers of dye on. It's actually on my on a base that I don't stock, which is a non-superwash base. I got to see if I could dye it. I still have some more skeins, so I might dye them up and see how they go. I managed not to felt it, so that was the most important thing. But Becky is big on non-superwash yarns, so I thought it would do her a disservice to knit such a large garment out of a superwash yarn, which is not true really, because it would still work, but I just thought I would try it. So from where I was last week with my teacup stitch marker, there's a definite constant tea theme today. Not my intention. Yes, so I've gone that far, which isn't a whole lot. This stitch marker is from my friend Anna, from when she used to make polymer clay charms, and this was a necklace, and I didn't wear it as a necklace, so I took it off the chain and put it on an earring finding, and love it. So I need to now move this down so you can see progress from next week. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this pattern. I thought I would find the cable aspect to be a bit of a slog, but I don't at all. I was worried that my stitch count being off would affect everything, but it hasn't, and that's fantastic. Once we get to the sleeves, that might be a different factor, but you know, so far so good. And yeah, I'm alternating skeins because I'm a good knitter. And also because I'm apparently I didn't dye them very evenly, so I had to alternate. But I'm getting through them. My first two skeins is one. Here's the other, pretty. And I have another one in here. Doop. I do have a fourth skein if I need it, because I dyed up 4 skeins. If I want to alternate the whole way, which I probably will end up doing. But yeah, I don't know why I always do eyeballs. Oh goodness, I do apologise. I am really enjoying this knit actually, and yeah, I didn't do any for a long time because I always think splitting for sleeves is way more effort than it is, and so then I just bit the bullet and split the sleeves, and now it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Back and forth, back and forth. And because it's broken rib, you get a knit row and you don't get a full purl row back, so people that don't like purling that much, telegram cardigan. Just saying. Although saying that, I really don't mind purling, I quite enjoy it, but yes. So back onto the project that has taken over most of my time. I also have a crochet, I'll start with the crochet triangle shawl actually. because honestly it has not moved from when I podcast last time. I haven't made any progress. Haven't made any progress on it, but just so everyone is caught up with what projects I have this crochet triangle shawl. It is the Spring Fling triangle shawl, which is a free pattern, or you can choose to buy it. I think if I make many more of these I should probably buy it, and it's just a really fun triangle shawl. I am knitting this out of a gradient cake by Sable Yarns called Kapow Cock, like peacock but kapow. I question the name but love the colour. And yeah, it's just a simple granny triangle shawl. I'm going to put this in the bag so it doesn't keep falling off my lap. The stitch marker that I have on it and haven't moved anywhere is by SHAWL Crafts, I believe, on Instagram, on Etsy even. And yeah, she makes really cool shrink plastic D20 stitch markers, which are beautiful. I love them. So yes, this is just going to be a simple triangle shawl once I get my button to gear and pick it up again. I'm making it on a 6mm hook, which is actually a very large hook. I don't know why I'm crocheting on such a large hook. I hadn't realised until last week. And that is living in a project bag that Becky made me, and I think that might be the end of the Soprano Knits fan club aspect. Maybe not though. You all know I love her. She used to be my neighbour. I used to live in Germany and she used to be my neighbour, and we met, and that's how I got into the online knitting world, is because she introduced me to it, and she's a fantastic individual, and you all know that there's a bromance there. But she's in Portugal right now, having a great time, helping out on a farm, I believe. So she's not even going to be watching this podcast, so it's all for naught. Right, the project that's stolen my heart. Living in my Emerald Fibres bag, which she's not making bags anymore, I'm really sorry, but love this bag. I bought at Woolen a couple of years ago. I started to crochet a granny square blanket, and I showed you my granny square accordion. Well, the granny square accordion has grown into a granny square blanket. I have started to join them together using the join as you go method. I actually have a video on how to do it on my YouTube channel. I don't know if it's any good. I get mixed reviews on it, but I filmed it like 7 years ago, so be gentle. But yeah, I started to join them together. I made it 8 wide to start with, but I've now made it 10 wide. I added 2 more columns because Mario said it wasn't, Mario complained that it wasn't wide enough. Standard Mario. But so I've made it 10 wide, so we shall see. And yeah, I'm using up 4-ply scraps and mini skeins that I have. So sorry, my camera only runs for a certain amount of time. Because the point and shoot camera, and that's how they avoid paying tax on not being a video camera, fun fact. So yeah, I'm using a 3mm hook, and I'm doing 6 rounds in the square. 6 rounds in the square, and then I'm doing a border. So how I'm doing it, this is not a profound way of doing it, but I crochet a ton of squares. Not that I have a ton of squares available because I've just joined a ton together, but I crochet a ton of squares. I don't bother sewing any of the ends in. I then, once I have a certain amount of squares, probably I will start doing it once I have 20 squares. I lay them out. I put my blanket down and I lay them out and make sure that the colours go. And then I pick them up in the reverse order that I crocheted them. So all I have to do is like pick it off the top and then crochet it round. I don't know if that makes sense. I am just using a ball of undyed yarn in my sturdy sock base to crochet around the edge, because I thought it made the most sense, and really like how it looks. Because I'm using quite a small crochet hook, the squares feel quite dense, which I like, and there's something very satisfying about whipping up a square, you know? So we have a ton of memories in this blanket in all sorts of colourways, in all sorts of mini skeins that people have given me over the years, in all sorts of mini skein swaps that I've done, and yeah, it just holds it's quite nice. This is probably how the Cozy Memories blanket is meant to feel, but because I'm so sick of crocheting my knitting my Cozy Memories blanket, that it's kind of got abandoned. I have great admiration for people that have actually finished them, but I haven't. I'm nowhere near. I'm like this far in on my Cozy Memories blanket. Maybe once I finish this it might inspire me to pick it back up again, but I will have used up a ton of my mini skeins. So each square uses up about 5 to 6 grams, so it's not too bad. Most mini skeins I would be able to get both a square for this and a square for my Cozy Memories blanket, which is quite good, but I haven't touched my Cozy Memories in so long. But I am really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying crocheting again. For those that don't know, I don't know many that would know, I actually started out with doing crochet before I knit. Well, my mum taught me to knit first, and then I got really into crochet and doing like amigurumi and stuff, and kind of, while my mum had taught me to crochet before, I kind of re-taught myself via YouTube. So yeah, and then I moved to Germany and got super into knitting, and then it's nice to go back to crochet, you know? So that leads me quite nicely into fattening. I was going to say fat stashioning, but that's not it. Stash fattening. And my, oh goodness, all my purchases want to be centre stage. So I was running low on mini skeins. I wasn't running low on mini skeins. And Giddy Yarns has been doing the Nostalgia Club since the beginning of the year. I actually have one right here to give away in my Crit and Knit Cal. Oh, I was meant to talk about my Crit and Knit Cal. Crit and Knit Cal, I'm going to end it on August the 31st, just so I don't eke it out forever. The Crit and Knit Cal is, that's on Ravelry again though. I hate that everything's on Ravelry. I can't move it now because that's where I was going to draw winners. Please make sure that you change your Ravelry to classic mode. But the Crit and Knit Cal is a knit along in which you knit Dungeons and Dragons themed things. It's now going to run till the 31st of August. I've set an end date. It starts on like February something. Anyway, yeah, I wanted some more mini skeins for my blanket, and Helen of Giddy Yarns has been doing a Nostalgia Club, like a surprise Nostalgia Club for each of the decades since the beginning of the year, I believe. This month's theme was the 1950s, so I just had to get them, and also because I wanted some more mini skeins, so I'm going to be showing them off. So just a quick warning, these are on her 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon base. You get 5 20-gram mini skeins, so that makes it up to 100G, the equivalent of 1 skein. And yeah, spoiler alert for those who haven't got it yet, but they're really fun colours inspired by events that happened in the 1950s, and I left a bit of paper downstairs. So yes, I just thought that they're just such fun, colours. I adore this one, adore so much, but I'll stop showing off so people that didn't get the mini skein club don't, or people that got the mini skein club don't get it spoiled. I also saw that Beth of Beehive Yarns was doing a destash and was destashing a skein of Melting Snowman by Herbstblatt Regina. Ugh, I'm dehydrated. Herbstblatt Regina, and ever since Becky bought a skein of this, oh, I talk about her again. I have wanted a skein of this, and then I've completely forgotten. Regina, I imagine. I imagine that is it. Her name is Regina. If it's not, the dye behind Herbstblatt Regina. Stop dyeing yarn, and then I could get it. So this is 75% superwash virgin wool, Schurwolle, and 25% polyamide and 4-ply, and it feels quite robust, and I'm excited to knit some socks out of it. I have decided that I need to destash myself, get some yarn out and sell some yarn out of my stash, sort it out, because we are looking at moving, so it would be good if I don't have to move with all of this yarn probably. So I should probably start buying yarn. And then the final thing I actually bought at the Virtual Wool Monty at Home. It was actually my only purchase, I'm pretty sure. And it's Peak District yarns, and it is Sheffield Relish, is that what it's called? Sheffield's Relish, and it's inspired by the bottle of Henderson's Relish, which is kind of a bit like Liam Perrin's Worcester sauce, but I'm really sorry to everyone that just got angry at me in Sheffield. I could just feel it. I could just feel my in-laws be like, no, it's not. So I'm really sorry. But Mario's family is from Sheffield, so I had to get Mario a skein of this. Well, I had to get me a skein of this to knit Mario a pair of Hendo socks. I had to. And she so kindly included a tiny bottle of Hendos in with it, which is super cute. So yes, that's Peak District yarns. And this is on her 4-ply high twist, which is 80% Blueface Leicester and 20% nylon. And I love BFL for socks and other things. Oh, my hair keeps catching on my necklace. Like, itch, causing it to itch. But yeah, I have quite the stash happening here. I feel like I need to like compress it down, or like actually knit with it a bit more. And stop casting on things out of my own yarn. I can't help it. See, it's a problem because I want to knit with my own yarn, but I also want to buy everyone else's yarn. Such a non-issue. So, let's have a sip of tea. So, shop news. I don't have a shop update. I had my club update yesterday, and there are still some skeins of my July Knit-A-Roll Yarn Club colourway, which is called Pop Pop. It's inspired by, I mean, I've been watching Community, so all I think is Pop Pop, which is probably where it's from. It's probably why she says it. But Bo, the monk, punches people in fights, so that's where that's from. These are the kind of colours that it's going to be. So yeah, there's still a few slots available on that. Unfortunately, Stitch Marker Club has sold out, so there are no more available there. Congratulations if you managed to snag yourself a spot on that one. I will be participating in July's virtual Yorkshire Yarn Fest. I did March's, which was the first one, and have felt FOMO on everyone since. So I'm doing July's. It's on the 18th of July. I will be going live on the Yorkshire Yarn Fest Instagram at 8:45 AM till 9 AM. That is my slot. And then I have decided that I will do my shop update at 9 o'clock. So I will basically be showing you everything that's going to be going in the shop, as much as I can in 15 minutes. And then the shop update will happen, because last time I did it, where the shop update happened and then I showed you what was in the shop, but like that it had already sold out. So I'm doing it the other way around, so you can like sit on the laptop whilst watching and get ready. Yes, I'm going to be doing it that way around. So that's at 9 AM BST, British summertime, UK time, on the 18th of July. It's a Saturday. And I will be launching my Halloween stitch markers for this year. They're already all made up, all downstairs. I've got some new monkey stitch markers that are pretty cute. I have little cow stitch markers going in for the first time. What else have I been making? Owls. I've got some owls going in. Yeah, so that's super exciting. I might talk to you before then. Yeah, I am due to podcast before then, so I'll talk to you about it again then, but just so you're aware, I will not be having a shop update before that, because I have a crap ton of stock to make for it, so I really need to start dyeing yarn for it because I haven't started dyeing yarn for it yet. So if there's any colourways in particular that you would like to see in the shop, let me know. Now is your time to speak up, because I bought a ton of undyed yarn, and like I said, we are hoping to move house soon, or we're looking to move house, I suppose I should say. So I actually need to get some yarn out so I have less less to move. But yeah, I need to dye it up and sell it basically. Other than that, we haven't been up to a whole lot. We had a socially distanced meeting with one of my friends and their new baby that they had, that I knit the blanket for. Extremely cute babe. And other than that, I've just been working, and Mary has been working, and we've just been plodding along doing work things. Watched Mario play The Last of Us 2. It was quite good. When I thought it had ended, I was like, this is anticlimactic. But it hadn't ended, and then it did end, and it wasn't anticlimactic. Just slightly traumatic. I've taken a break away from Animal Crossing. I think I overdid it a little bit, but the summer update's coming soon, so I think that that will get me back into it. I realised I was essentially just going on to deal turnips, and that was it. I mean, the only other highlight is that we bought new pillows for our bed, and they arrived yesterday, and it's the best thing ever. Oh, my skein twister that I bought a second-hand skein twister off of Aisha of Dusty Dimples. Love her. And then after using it to twist maybe about 200 skeins, 120 of those being mini skeins, it just decided to stop working. So I've been back and forth with the seller of the skein twister, and they've been so fantastic, even though I bought it second hand, and they sent me a second motor. They've sent me loads of videos on what could possibly be wrong, because they'd never seen this happen before. Long story short, I couldn't switch the motor, so I ended up sending it back to them, even though I bought it second hand. They've been so incredible. If you're an indie dyer thinking about doing it, buying a skein twister, their customer service is top notch. Yeah, so they've managed to fix it, and hopefully we'll be coming back soon, because I have 180 mini skeins out there ready to twist up for advent calendars, which will be going on sale at 7 PM BST on the 31st of July. The final slots. I'm slightly concerned because I think more people have signed up to the reminders than I have in the shop. So I'm slightly concerned, because once they're gone, they're gone. Because I've already started dyeing them. I can't just add more. Plus, the yarn supply that I get my yarn from is really low in stock on so many bases of yarn. I'm very fortunate in that the yarn I buy from them is BFL, and not many people dye BFL. So they still have that in stock. But yeah, that's a tough one. But yes, that's the last time you're going to be able to get advent calendars. I need to keep dyeing them. I've only dyed up 7 colours of the advent calendar. I really need to get a wriggle on. I should be having the remainder of my mini skeins arrive today, so that's exciting. And yeah, that's it. That's honestly it. That's all I've been up to. I've really not been doing anything. My tummy is rumbling. I feel like other people haven't really been doing anything either though. Oh, I've emailed and inquired about some enamel pin designs that I thought up, and I'm really excited for. So fingers crossed about those. But that's honestly it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully the next time I talk to you, the weather will pick up and it won't feel so much like an autumnal day. Like, I've got bare legs but fluffy socks on. So. Oh, and I walked really hard into the corner of my bed the other morning to shut the window, and so I have a really big old bruise on my leg. It's really attractive. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to follow me on social media, I would love that. Please feel free. Links can all be found in the description box below, as I said in the beginning, as well as links to the podcast notes, which are now going to be found on my website. What else? thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments what you have been working on, any purchases you've recently made. I love the comment sections of my YouTube videos. And while I don't necessarily respond to everyone, I read every single comment. And working in business when you're self-employed can be really lonely because you're working by yourself, especially when there's a lockdown happening. I'm sure a lot of people have been feeling lonely from working from home. But this little community that, you know, I've managed to curate somehow lifts me up so much and means so much to me. So feel free in the comments to write what you're working on, what you've been doing, anything, your favourite sandwich flavour, you know. I love the communication. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I've enjoyed chatting with you. Right, I need to go edit this video and eat some brunch. Technically lunch, it's 11:30. Yes, thank you so much for watching. Your support, it just means the world to me. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed the video and give it a thumbs up if you liked it. It all helps to get, or thumbs down if you hated it. It all helps to get my video out into the YouTube sphere. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.